These are the stories
My little girl, she's changing lives just by being herself.
of organizations and people making a difference.
When you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real.
And empowering others
It saved my life. It saved my life.
across Canada
I scored my first goal in my first blind hockey game.
in our community.
I really believe that art isn't viewed through your eyes, it's viewed through your heart and through your mind, and we all can do that. My name is Linda Bartram. I'm the chair of the Victoria Society for Blind Arts and Culture, and I oversaw the Your Eyes, My Vision art project. I thought, you know, if I have these challenges, I wonder if a lot of other blind people do too. You know, there's barriers out there that make it not possible, and I thought perhaps, you know, there are other people out there who would like to try art or have never really thought that they could do it, and I really wanted to make this happen. The goal was just to give blind people the opportunity to take all the barriers away, no money barriers, no assistance barriers, and give them the opportunity to express themselves. I was trying to get my art off the ground and looking for some support and assistance with doing an art project. And when I heard about the funding from the Disability Alliance British Columbia, I thought, wow, maybe this is the route to go, get some funding and then be in a position to hire people to help make this happen. We hired a project coordinator, Laurel, and that was her job. Her job was to go out there in the sighted world and find the facilitators to assist the artists.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, hi, Laurel. Come on in. Good to meet you finally.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Fortunately, we had 16 people apply, and we're going to be able to make it work for 16 people, so that's great. We didn't have to do a lottery. Now, I understand we've got quite a few people here in the Greater Victoria area and on Vancouver Island. Got a nice variety.
Yeah.
My name is Olivera Popovich. I go by Vera. I got a phone call from Linda Bartram, and she said to me that this project is happening and what was all involved, and asked if I was interested, and I kind of thought, this is exactly what I need to get that jump start, to get me moving in the direction that I want in painting. Hi, Jacob.
Hello.
Come on in. How are you?
Terrific. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Vera and Jacob are one of the duos participating in the Your Eyes, My Vision art project.
My name is Jacob LaRoque-Wall. I'm a facilitator of art with the Your Eyes, My Vision project.
I decided I would delve into painting because painting is something I've always done all throughout my life, and I felt when I retire I would dedicate more time to painting. I've really wanted to explore acrylics. I have not ever worked with acrylics. I've just usually used watercolor or different things like that. So working with acrylic paint was something I really was interested in learning about and exploring.
So there was a bit of a, not a conflict exactly, but we both had different opinions of what kind of paint we wanted to use. Because I'm traditionally an oil painter, and Vera just was having none of that.
I'm just being silly. Go
It's
ahead.
your idea. It's gonna be great. She wanted something that would be really thick and that would stand up so that people could touch the paintings and know kind of what's going on. So we used molding paste and mixed with color, and she applied it with, at first, a brush or a palette knife or something like that. And then she evolved to using just her fingers on the canvas, and it got this really nice kind of triangular effect, like it was almost whitecaps on the ocean.
I was born with congenital cataracts, so I have had low vision all my life. I basically have 5% vision in my right eye and very little in my left eye. It seemed like this is going to be super easy and I'll get it done in no time, but you know, once you start painting, go, wait a second, that's not working out exactly how I planned and thought. But the cool thing about painting, whatever you don't like, you can paint over it and do it again. So I did experience that a couple of times.
I actually thought it was going to be more challenging. I thought I was going to be the one painting, and she would be describing to me what she wanted to happen. But it turned out I was in more of a facilitating role, where she would just ask me questions and get assistance whenever she needed it. So it was definitely a process.
Maybe it needs harder tapping.
Or maybe gentler tapping.
Well, I thought I was being pretty gentle before.
The best part of the process was just making the connection with Jacob and feeling really comfortable. There was a huge age difference, and I totally respected his understanding and level of ability in art.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity to express myself and to help someone else express themselves. Catch you next week.
Oh, catch you later. Have a great week. Thank you so much. See you next Monday. Bye. Have a good week.
Later.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
Hi, I'm Sage. I'm an artist, and I just really enjoy painting and fine line drawing. I was taking an animation course at Victoria College of Art, and Laurel is involved there, and she's the one that reached out to me and said that there was this project available, and I thought it would be interesting to try it out. I did a project with Shirley. We decided to do an acrylic painting.
Shirley there did art with Your Eyes, My Vision. A little bit different style.
All right, we got lots of fun colors. I took ideas from Shirley and colors she likes and what sort of medium she'd like to work in. And we wrote all those ideas down and then applied them to a canvas. We've got a lot of different shades. We've got a really bright yellow.
Okay, that may work.
Cool. I like your style.
I have retinitis pigmentosus.
You're right-handed?
Yeah, and it's a nerve disease that it could eventually take all your sight. But in my condition, I do see a little bit.
The painting that Shirley and Sage are working on is well underway. Today, they're meeting outside in a nice garden area to continue their artwork.
Well, I really liked animals. I decided maybe a bird and some ponds, and we put like mat tack or something so you could feel it.
We started on a wood canvas, which obviously has no texture to it for Shirley. I had recently gone to a seminar in the summer where we were using gesso. And gesso is a material you can apply and it becomes textured because it dries in place. And I decided to use that for some of the parts of the painting, like the sun, the mountains, and the clouds. So Shirley was able to actually feel where she was painting. It was messy, but she was able to have a better idea of where her paintbrush was going. You've got great control with the brush.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sun in the top, and clouds in the sky, and there's an eagle, and then there's a little lake, and then there's trees.
Her vision, I think, was the focus being an eagle, but it kind of transformed into the sun kind of shining down onto the landscape, and then the eagles were kind of in the background. It kind of transformed on its own after, you know, meeting with her so many times, and I really tried to involve her in the actual painting part of it, and it kind of took on a life of its own, which was really cool. That's really great. Then you can go up again. Perfect. More right, more right, more right. Perfect. This is lovely. First tree is complete. Yeah, so for today, we worked with the gesso, which I'm very happy with. How do you feel about it?
I like it too.
Yeah, I found it was much easier to do instead of just trying to
tell me where to paint.
Yeah, so you could really feel it.
As Sage and Shirley pack up their art supplies, we meet with Vera and Jacob as they continue their first painting.
What I thought I could do is just, before I start painting the different colors rising up to the top, I thought I would paint the arms green.
Oh, really? Green arms.
Green arms.
Exciting.
Well, I feel like it'll blend well with all the different blues and greens being washed over top. And it will eliminate the point that you brought up where there might be some white spots left.
Great, yeah, right on.
Arms first.
Arms first.
And then we'll carry on.
Cool. Yeah.
Which one do we start with? There's my medium.
Yeah, so I think what we should do is add some blue and some yellow to this gray.
Okay.
Nice. That's probably good. If you want to do a little more, boom.
Just want to get rid of that so it's not...
And then we'll put some yellow like more over this way so we can add them in the middle together.
Medium in the middle or what?
Something like that. Equidistant. There you go. Lovely.
Now.
Or you could use a brush too to mix it if you want.
Okay. Ooh, I like that blue.
Yeah. Vibrant.
I don't know where to start.
Anywhere.
Let's do this.
There you go. Whoa, all right.
It's so hard to describe to people, especially with a partially sighted person, because there's so many variances, so many different things that influence how you see it, and it's really hard for somebody else with vision to understand. And I remember mixing paint, and Jacob would say, just take a tiny little bit of that paint, and I would, what I thought was a tiny bit, but actually was a lot.
There's a concept in painting where you add kind of each of the primaries together to form whatever permutation of color coordination that you want. So I said, there was this orange that she had that she wanted to be a little deeper. And I said, add a little bit of blue. And so she just like picked up her brush and dipped it in the blue, and suddenly it's very dark brown. And that's not exactly what she was going for. I thought that was kind of funny.
I wanted it blacker than that.
Blacker than black.
The first one is called Persist. I had 2 arms and hands rising up from the depths of the ocean. I wanted to illustrate that you started down in the depths of the ocean, like down in the dark, deep water, and then reaching up higher and up to the surface, and then the hands ended up holding a glowing sphere. So persist, like if you just keep going and going and going and working through whatever muck and mire you're dealing with, you are going to reach the surface and there will be a reward at the end of it. I'm so proud of myself, and I just feel like, look at what I did. This is my art. I kind of can't wait to get that feedback of having done something really cool and different. Look at that, and my hardest piece done.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy going from here on in.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community. With the art show quickly approaching, Sage and Shirley get together for their final session.
So what are we doing today?
So today we are just doing the finishing touches, which is Krylon spray, which is a sealer for the painting. It's just a can.
And then some special, some kind of spray to protect the wood, make it shiny. Put it on the last stage. It went pretty good.
Oh, lovely.
There's a sun and a lake, and there's some interesting kind of twirly little trees that Shirley was interested in having, and kind of a darker sky with some clouds, and then there was eagles flying over onto the lake. It's pretty bright, and I tried to use a lot of shadows, so it was very defined. It ended up a little bit darker than I think that she thought we were going for, but it was really well done, and I was very happy with it.
She's a very good teacher.
The big day is finally here. Guests start to arrive at the building where the art collective, the Ministry of Casual Living, is hosting the Your Eyes, My Vision Art Showcase.
I have never experienced an art show in my whole life. It's my first time ever. All these things are running through my head, really important things down to simple things like, oh my gosh, what will I wear? It's a lot of talking myself down and just saying to myself, it'll be okay. The art show will be great.
My name is Linda Bartram, and I'm the chair of the Victoria Society for Blind Arts and Culture. Really great to see such a crowd out to our presentation this afternoon, Your Eyes, My Vision. We were able to pair off 15 artists with 15 facilitators, and you're seeing much of the work that was produced over the last year in the room today. So we're going to start with our first artist, which is Vera.
There were people packed. There was a musician. She was really great, playing the guitar and singing. And the presentation was very neat.
It's been a wonderful experience. My sidekick Jacob over here has taught me so much.
That first time that she mentioned me, I almost teared up a little. That was pretty good.
It really fed my soul, this process. The general response was great. They'd enjoyed the process. The facilitators really enjoyed the process. And many of them have said they'd be happy to do something similar again.
I would say it's a wonderful experience. I would highly recommend any artist to get involved. You don't have to be highly educated and you don't have to have a ton of experience. If you consider yourself an artist, I absolutely think it would be amazing to be a part of it, not only for the community, but also for your own career. I would definitely do another volunteer project. It was a really good experience, and I have more knowledge now.
Yeah, it turned out really good. Someone was saying, you're gonna sell your painting, and I went, yeah, it was sold. It's that same day.
I learned lots of people do art, and it's about expressing their creativity. It's about expressing feelings. It's about concept behind what you're doing, whatever it is. I learned that in the process, as did, I think, the other artists, that they now do consider themselves artists, and we broke down a barrier there.
I haven't involved myself a great deal in activities that are specifically for blind and visually impaired people, but I think this one is amazing, and I definitely wish that it would continue and grow and get better and bigger and get more people involved and more community out to see. If somebody has that interest and that love for creativity and art, I would definitely encourage them to go ahead and try, because why keep that all bottled in when there are opportunities out there to express it?
It was totally different from my process. I like to be kind of half spontaneous, especially if I'm doing abstract work. I just like to go and let the painting tell me what it wants. But she was like a sculptor. She was very sure of what she wanted, and she got it. The first painting that we did actually sold the first day at the exhibition.
Jacob may have been a little bit disappointed that I worked on my own, but I kept telling him that, you know what, you've given me the courage and the ability to just go forth and do this on my own. You've given me the basics, and now I have the confidence to fix things and finish things on my own when you're not here. I'm so happy with the outcome. I'm so proud of what I've done. I feel amazing. I just I had no idea that this is going to be as amazing an opportunity as it was. It got me to actually, start doing what I talked about doing forever in a day. And I was really nervous. I've never worked with acrylics, so Jacob's been so helpful. He showed me how to use the materials and how to mix colors. I mean, not that I always listened to him, but he did his best. And just giving me the confidence and the freedom to experiment and try things on my own and feel like, yeah, I can do this. This is great. It's just been awesome. I don't know what else to say.
If you get the urge to do some art and there are obstacles, just keep going. Just keep jumping over, going under. moving things aside, like organize your space, set yourself up for success, just keep doing art. It's so beneficial for oneself and for the world at large, I think.
If you've affected, a dozen people or possibly 30 or 40 people at the art show to look at blindness in a slightly different way and to, not necessarily have those unconscious biases that we all have about things, and maybe start to question and think, hey, maybe that is possible.
I belong, I'm here, I'm enough. Art is amazing. Let's all keep it going. Thank you for giving me a chance. Yay!
Producer-director Mike Waverican. Interviewer, production manager Sam Graham. Interviewer Adrian Sala. Directors of photography Nathan Stevens. Additional camera Taylor Hanley. Location audio Gilles Millette. Editor and colorist Luke Connor. Sound mix David Parfit. Mastering Brent Craven of Craven Studios. Narrator Jim Van Horn. Integrated Describe Video Consultant Ron Rickford. Supervising Producer Jennifer Johnson. Content Development Specialist Sylvi Fekete. Manager Programming Lisa Ngagne. Director Content Development and Production Karen I. Vice President Content Development and Operations John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright Accessible Media Inc. 2023.